Hello, good morning. Testing, testing. Hello, good morning. Testing. Good morning, Michael. Let us get started, shall we? And just the lamp in the background. It looks like I'm painting in a black void. There we now have kind of a dramatically lit Domo plushie. It's covered by my head right now, so it can be a surprise when I move. If I lean back a bit, you can kind of see it. Anyways. As usual, step one is going to be remoistening the old wet palette. Good morning, Country Fried Minis. Damn, you must be up early. Over in the old Pacific time zone. Or maybe this is when you usually get up. Yeah, no one wants to paint with a dry, wet palette, that's for sure. This wet palette is getting pretty swampy, you could say. What was it? It's TTRPG Tuesday or Tabletop Tuesday, is it? Sorry, I should say it's Tabletop Tuesday, innit? I gotta slowly remoisten it, otherwise the water spills onto the actual paint part. I just did that anyways. Tabletop Tuesday. I need to take this outer layer off. I can already tell it's gonna be too warm. Don't get too excited though. All right. Let us start with this leg here. We're gonna work on the black for a bit. I think I'll probably just definitely at least try and finish up the black on this piece. Looks like I should probably raise the camera a bit. Try and get the autofocus. I'm using a different lens today. Let me see where the focus point is at. That explains why the focus was wonky. The focus point was all the way to the side of the frame. I should grab the other leg piece as an example, because there is the one spot around the cuff that was painted differently between the two pieces. So this is the piece where I prefer the way I highlighted it with a extra ridge here on both sides, and then this piece I went for a more basic version of it, but I'm gonna redo this so it looks like this. And so we're gonna go back to the starting from black and work our way up to gray with a bit of white mixed in, and we'll be hopefully finishing up the black. And let's just put it right here. Oh yes, and it's time to pick a nicer brush out. I've been generally early in the project, I use the pretty crappy brushes. But we're in the more hardcore step of the painting, so we're going to need a more hardcore brush, at least for the more detailed parts. And which one I'm going to use is a good question. Probably use, you know, this is a pretty important painting project, so let's grab a few of these bad boys. For the final highlights, let's try this one for now. I say use all the really nice brushes. I think I ended up grabbing 3 synthetic ones here. I think I should probably put the glove on too. Well, let's work on those cuff sections first. I'm trying to position the mic in a way where I won't accidentally hit it. It's gonna be pretty close to my face. Gotta make sure I don't make too many gross mouth noises. And also hold the piece in the center of the frame. I guess I'm kind of just starting this piece over, so let's just try and get some even coverage, most importantly. And obviously for most of the other black sections I'm finishing up today, I'm not going to be covering up this or painting over this much of the work. Hello, Cassidy Amanita. Thank you for the kind words. I'm glad I could inspire you to do some Gamma Wolves and Kitbash yourself. It's always nice to hear. And thank you for the $2 super chat, Country Fried Minis. Maybe the next coffee burp I have will be dedicated just to you for that super chat. I believe people can redeem points on your stream or something for some kind of mouth noise. Am I wrong? If anyone needs a stream to watch in like 12 hours or so, Country Fried Minis will be doing a nice unhinged TTRPG Tuesday stream. I just touched some wet paint. I guess that's what the skewer is for. The control just isn't as good. Hello, Arthur Daly, and thank you. I will keep up the work. Hopefully this different camera lens is doing more to improve the focus and view of the part than harm it. It's a more of a wider angle, so like the focus is better, but angle of viewing slightly worse, perhaps. Or you can't get as quite a close-up look. Probably a little unnecessary to like repaint all black sections this hard. So, you know, this is the classic, like, first piece is a little efficient, and when I do the second leg, I'll have learned my lesson. Alright, let's move down a size and brush. Or will we? No, we can stay with this one for this next stage, because we're just making a very dark gray. Which we can do by just reactivating the paint on the palette from yesterday. Now let's make sure we do this cuff properly. Steady as she goes. Another reason it's like, I mean, this cuff piece is an exception because I did like paint it incorrectly, but for the other sections, another reason why I shouldn't be like just repainting all the layers is because it adds more brush strokes. But you know, like I've said with pretty much all my hand painted projects, a lot of the fine detail work distracts from the brush strokes anyways. And now let's make sure the other cuff gets painted correctly. The main difference is just like having two lines to edge highlight on the side here. That was the only thing I did wrong on the first try. You like my mug? Yeah, it's a nice mug. My favorite mug is the one that's got like the buff dude holding a pillar on it that I got from Value Village years ago. A hyper neon pink mug sounds pretty sweet. Do I ever come up with deeper lore for my mech pilots? Yes, sometimes. Most of the time I'm not sharing that though. And that's mostly due, I mean, it's not that I'm like too shy to share it. I think it's more that like not a lot of people are interested in that. In my experience on this channel, people mostly just want to see painting. And so when it comes to deciding what I'm going to put effort into, I kind of have to prioritize that stuff. But you know, I found ways to sprinkle it in here and there, as you've probably seen if you watch my Gamma Wolves videos. Or like if I have like written like bits of lore and all that, or backstory. But like if I'm gonna put in the editing effort to like make that presentable, it's more worth it for me to just like improve the painting content, so to speak. And the lore is just for me. Yeah, I think everyone should try. Especially if you do like tabletop games and like using your own custom painted models, or even not, like just doing your own custom gunpla. Coming up with your own lore and stuff is a fun time. I'd recommend it. Usually all my writing energy is depleted just from like writing the scripts. Yeah, I wish more people were into like the lore and all that. Just kind of one of the harsh truths of YouTube, I suppose. There is an audience out there that enjoys the lore and being nerdy gamers, but they're the minority. Value Village. What, you don't got Value Village down there? Yeah, I appreciate what you're saying, Arthur. The problem is I've already like had that mindset before, and then that's it's like really harmed my channel in the long run, is like doing my video my way. It's like I did that for too many videos now, and now my situation is so precarious that like I'm surprised my channel isn't like dead in the water already. I guess it's like not dead in the water already because I haven't given up on it. Blav King Almighty, I use water-based acrylic paints, a variety of brands, most of them Vallejo. That's all there is to it. Okay. Let's reactivate some more of that gray paint. Resurrect this old crusty paint. You ain't done yet. Oh, okay. I didn't realize Value Village was a Canadian thing. Take that, America. We've got something you don't. But yeah, it's essentially just like a Goodwill. It's a straight up thrift store, no dollar store here. I mean, we do have dollar stores here, but Value Village isn't one. Alright, gonna go down a size and brush. You're working on the high grade God Gundam. A classic. My God Gundam video was one of the first ones I had that did alright. Did alright as in like breaking the 1,000 views. I think that one has some of my, or one of my best burp gags, personally. Let me know if the music volume is too loud, by the way. I'm still kind of testing it out, this new setup. Oh, by the way, if anyone was thinking of picking up the new Gundam Breaker 4 game when it releases, I think this week, Friday. Don't quote me on that. I did get a chance to play early access on it. And very good game if you're into gunpla. The problem I mentioned, I think, in yesterday's stream, probably the stream before as well, is that like I could tell right away that like I could easily lose a lot of time, not even like doing the missions and stuff, just like playing around with like the building section and like building and painting kitbashes in the game. And I was like, well, this is great, but I think it'll be overall detrimental if I lose time in like building and painting the gunpla in real life because I'm like doing it in this video game. Because things are slow enough as it is on this channel. And it's also, I'm also more of a turn-based game person. But if Gundam Breaker 4 is piquing your interest, I can say it looks to be a pretty quality game. Well, Blav King Almighty, I hope you like Berserk references. Yeah, that's kind of how the YouTube goes. Country Fried. Alright, low but audible is what I was going for with the music. Yeah, you could, assuming you like collect enough parts in the game, you can definitely use it as like a drafting tool for future customs. And it has a like photo diorama mode too, which I think most games should have a photo mode. Hello, Bittybot Bro 78 and John Ventura. The Doan's Island RX 77-2. Doan's Island was a pretty solid movie. What I like most about that was just the fact that I could see a Gundam movie in theaters. I remember I called it before the movie started. I was like, there's gonna be 3 slap gags. And I was right. Maybe there's 2. I can't remember now. Point is, I'm like, they're gonna have Bright slap somebody. And then someone else is gonna slap somebody. Because that's just the meme. Alright, now this cuff is highlighted properly. Oh, Dust, my arch nemesis, will you ever leave me be, to just paint unmolested? No, the Dust says. I'm but a part of the universe eternal. Yeah, do let me know if the painting is getting too far to the side of the frame or going out of focus too often. I can adjust that. Arthur is kitbashing the Sinanju and the Leo. Very nice, very nice. Michael got home from Hobby Lobby. Working on a Zaku too. Very nice. Yeah. It's always good to have a backup needle for those airbrushes. Don't we all, Country Fried Minis? Art stores and stationery stores, and of course tabletop gaming stores. I feel like the most potent of the one for me to like spend money I don't need to spend is the stationery store. Yeah, Suletta Mercury. Hello, Iron Elemental. Yeah, Country Fried Minis. Sometimes I'll brush off the dust before applying paint. I don't always remember to do that though. And Cassidy, a Gundam series to recommend for someone who's only watched Iron-Blooded Orphans. Well, at some point, you're gonna have to at least watch the original series compilation movies. It's a trilogy of movies. Any fan of Gundam should watch those eventually. If you want something with a bit more modern animation, definitely recommend Gundam Thunderbolt. Very, very good animation. Extremely dark story. You won't get a satisfying ending because it's an adaptation of a manga and they haven't finished the adaptation. It's kind of just been in limbo forever. But there's basically like 8 episodes you could watch of just really good quality Gundam. Witch for Mercury is good too. The first season is a lot better than the second season. Good animation, good characters. So yeah, there's 3 recommendations for you. Anyone else, feel free to chime in. The 8th MS team is also good. I feel like if you're going to watch anything in the Universal Century timeline, which would be like Thunderbolt or the 8th MS team, like you should probably watch the original trilogy first. But you know, you do you. The Gun Volva is good, yeah. Oh yeah, the Origin series is good too. Yeah, I wonder, I don't know, you feel free to chime in, chat. Do you think it's better to watch the original series? And when I say original series, I'm like using, you know, watching all the episodes or like watching the movie trilogy interchangeably. The movie, like a lot of people just don't have the time to watch like all the actual episodes. But do you think you should watch the original series first and then watch the Origin? Or watch the Origin first? Because the Origin like sets up the series, but it's like got more modern animation. I thought the Origin was good. You get lots of good Ramba Ral content. Apparently there's going to be a new Iron-Blooded Orphans thing coming out sometime. It's like a, I don't know if it's like a compilation movie or like a sequel to some storyline that goes on in like a Japan-only mobile game called Urdur Hunt. It's where the Marcosius suit comes from, I believe, and a few others. Yeah, that's right, BiddyBot. We gotta. I'm gonna join the Gundam anime discussion. Yeah, Doan's Island is good, but that's one where you definitely want to watch the original series first. Sorry to hear that, Aaron Elemental. The life-size moving Gundam is returning to Japan Expo 2024. Really? That's good news. It must be a lot of work to like reassemble that thing. Where's the Japan Expo happening and when? I think it's kind of silly they got rid, or like that wasn't just like a permanent installation in the first place. I'm assuming like the land they had it on was just a lease or a rental or something. War in the Pocket. I haven't seen that one. Heard it's good. The most tragic Gundam story. They're all pretty tragic. Thunderbolt. I would say Thunderbolt is the most tragic one I've seen. Thunderbolt is real sad. hope y'all enjoy the attribution-free classical music that's just thrown into the background. I'm using the YouTube audio library currently because I can no longer trust the music service I was using before. I wish I had more classical music, but I do enjoy what is on there. I don't usually listen to classical music on my own, but in terms of what's available on the YouTube library, can't complain about having a few classic hits on there. Always a band kid at heart, I guess. Oh yeah, the life of any anime animator is pretty tragic. Iron Elemental. Oh, Edison, hello. How do I feel about the high-grade Dragon Gundam being sold out on pre-order? I think it's bullshit that it was P Bandai in the first place, and fuck P Bandai. Probably shouldn't say a F word, but I got opinions about P Bandai. I guess it's not really a contrarian opinion, though. I don't know many people who like P Bandai. It's like for something like Dragon Gundam 2, I guess they've been doing that with all the G Gundam stuff, other than like the God Gundam himself. Like Rose Gundam was P Bandai, and it's just like, come on, Bandai. Why you gotta screw us like this? Like, you know, if they ever do a Tequila Gundam or a Matador Gundam, like that shit's gonna be P Bandai and it's gonna like sell out immediately. Okay, now we are just going to add a drop of white. Get the final edge highlight for the black on this leg. Yeah, Country Fried Minis, isn't that shit just drive you up the wall? It's like one time I had a song claimed by a channel that was just really obviously fake. Like the artist name they used was fake. I think their artist name was like something stupid like Justine Time. And it's like people can just claim your shit and stop you from earning money on it until it's sorted out and there's no repercussions for them. Oh, there's a burp. There's a coffee burp. And a hiccup. This is an unmarked white bottle, but it's a golden high flow acrylic titanium white. The bottle I have for it is like pretty large, and it's gonna last me for like at least a decade, I think. Yeah, Biddy, but I guess it is just a giant model kit at the end of the day. And yeah, Michael, I'd say it's a valid choice to start with the origin. I am gonna add a bit more of our, what's it called again? Iron Hull Gray. Epidemic sound is good until you stop paying for the service, because when you stop paying for the service, then like Epidemic sound will claim your videos, I believe, because you no longer have the rights to them. What do I think about adding something like chainmail as an exterior piece of armor for a medieval feel? I think that would look cool. I don't have the materials for that on any of my projects right now. Also, hello Fengyre Saga. Yeah, I mean, the service I used when I first got started was like some random free one that I switched away from pretty early. And then I was using Artlist for a while, because Artlist had a better license than Epidemic Sound. In the sense that, like, you could pay the artless license for the artless license, which is like the same price as Epidemic, basically. But any songs you used, you would never lose the rights, even if you stopped paying for the artless license. But then eventually they took that away because I guess that was just them being a loss leader so they could get enough of a market share, and then they changed their policy to be almost the same as Epidemic Sound, so that felt like a big middle finger. Should have known it was too good to be true. Alright, going down a brush size again. Put that baby up on the counter. Yeah, you can't go wrong with starting the trilogy, or starting with the original trilogy. And then from there, yeah, you could go 8th MS Team, Thunderbolt, or the Origin. If you're a fan of Char Aznavour, the character, definitely watch the Origin. If you want a good story about like a ragtag team of friends, 8th MS Team. If you want like probably some of the best Gundam animation you could ever see and a really tragic story, go with Thunderbolt. Now with this final pass for the edge highlight, I'm really just only focusing on the edges that would actually be catching the theoretical light, and like hitting the intersections. I am wondering if I need to mix in a little bit more white. Be able to tell once these parts dry. Yeah, I think I want to add a bit more white. True fans watch Build Fighters. Build Fighters fans are just built differently, man. Oh yeah, it's the gun sniper. It's like a master grade one. So it's good to take your time sometimes. Oh man, watching the white spread out as I dropped it onto the palette looks pretty cool. What do you mean Gundam face, Cassidy? Do you mean like how a lot of Gundams have this similar looking heads? Nothing wrong with wanting to avoid collecting a bunch of models that have a really similar look. The RX-78 face doesn't do much for me, personally. I'm more of a Zaku / Goof face. Or I guess you could say I'm just more of a mono eye person then. Yeah, this lighter shade is a bit more what I'm looking for. The synthetic brush is curling really hardcore, but I'm just using the curl to my advantage, I guess. I do remember watching a Geek Gaming Scenics video a long time ago about using like a hair straightener to fix curved tips on synthetic brushes. That's not the only method. There are a few methods out there that I'm too lazy to do. I just paint with the curl. Thinking since it's the cheap Tuesday night, I'm thinking of maybe going to see Alien Romulus tonight. I know it's not like doing anything revolutionary for the Alien franchise, but Alien is one of my favorite movies, and I've like read most of the comics, so every time a new Alien movie comes out, I generally go and see it. And yeah, I mean, Prometheus has its flaws, but at the end of the day, I appreciate Prometheus for doing some new things and taking some risks, and it seems like Alien Romulus is not doing that at all. But I hear it's still a good spooky time. Oh shit, Sonic 3 trailer. Me and Blue Parappa are gonna have to watch that after this stream. Our first Valentine's Day back in 2019, we went and saw the first Sonic movie. Using it as an excuse to buy a new pack of brushes. Yeah, I definitely done that before. Yes, Fangire, you should start those Tyranids. Yeah, I mean, Cassidy, nothing wrong with not being a fan of the RX-78 face. There's plenty of other good Gundam faces out there. All you gotta do is just keep exploring and enjoying the hobby. Oh, I've read Alien vs. Predator: Fire and Stone. That I did like how weird that comic got. I think the Gundams, in terms of like the protagonist, like RX-78-esque face, I do like the Seed version. The Gundam Seed designs are pretty good. I've only watched 3 episodes of Gundam Seed. I do prefer the Iron-Blooded Orphans designs. Started with a unicorn, banshee, tallgeese, and a sinanju. Those are all very styling mechs there. I think the tallgeese is the best design from Gundam Wing. I have the Gundam artifact tallgeese in a drawer, waiting for the right time. Looking forward to painting it, but I'm not looking forward to building it. The build experience of the artifact Nightingale was pretty bad, to be honest. They should have taken more notes from how miniatures are designed. Instead, they just kind of like shrunk down a gunpla kit. The Jagen, yeah, that's a good one. I think I need to fix some of the black line here. I'm just gonna take this skewer out for the last bit here because I keep tapping the camera with it. This song is much louder than the others. I shall turn it down. Yeah, the Jagen has more of a commander look. Seeing a few areas here where I went a bit too hard on the bright highlight. And I'm just bringing it back a bit. Wet palette coming in clutch once again. We all know the UC Xeon suits have the most Riz. Or swagger, depending on if you prefer the Gen Z or Millennial lingo. concave is the last bit, or the two sides of the cut for the last bit of the black edge highlight on this leg. I don't know if I'll keep using this brush for the final edge highlights though. I think we need a bit more of a try-hard brush to just work a bit faster. Build Fighter series does have some very good suits because it's like a lot of them are Kitbashes themselves. Plus it has some pretty unique offerings. Like that one, what was it called? The one that's like a flying saucer with legs, kind of. It's like very round. The first gunpla I ever did was from the Build series. It's a Striker GNX. The Sengoku Astray, that one also came from the Build series. That's a fun one. Gotten 2 videos out of that high grade kit and reused the dumb meme I made about it. Way more than that. Okay, we're gonna call the black edge highlight on this piece done. Hey, I feel like it's a little messy, but I think I feel that way about most of the painting I do. It's always messier than I want it to be. It's not the Big Zam. It's like, it kind of has like the same silhouette as the Big Zam, but it's oh, an SD gun tank, hell yeah. It's not the bear guy, but the bear guy is another unique offering. I gotta look this up now. Cause this is gonna bug me. I know it's one, there's the custom, there's a gunpla modeler out there called Dumpla, which I haven't seen them post in a while, but they did a really good custom where they turned it into like a hamburger. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure this out another time. Okay, now question is, I think like I could go to finishing the purple on this, or I could work on getting the black of the next piece done. I think I need to do that because there's some black paint on the palette to use. I do need to take a bathroom break though, so I'm gonna do that. It wasn't the Momo Kapul. And we're past an hour of the stream now, so it's about time for the break anyways. So I will be back in a few minutes, everybody. We also need to refill the coffee. Very important. And I'm back. What'd I miss? Alright, let's get back to it. We'll be working on a foot next. I have an arm ready to go on a skewer as well, but I feel like this stream I'm just feeling like working on the leg and the foot. I think by the time I finish the black on the foot, then I'll have used up the currently wet paint well enough to switch to purple for a bit. Or maybe... yeah, we'll see. Tomorrow I want to do an evening stream for the people who are not available to watch the morning streams. And I feel like that'll probably be the last stream for this project. I'm on this stream number 5, so 6 total streams for the project's pretty good. The rest of the painting will be done off stream, but some of it will be recorded. Just gonna like get some of my dark gray ready to go here. But we will need to add a drop of black. Yeah, Clayton, I do enjoy the morning streams. It helps me, you know, start the day off right. It's definitely beneficial starting the day off with like a couple hours of painting. If I schedule the stream the night before as well, it gives me a bit of a deadline so I don't sleep in, you know? Like when I scheduled this stream yesterday afterwards, I was kind of like, ugh. I just willingly scheduled an 8 a.m. stream for myself. What am I doing? But I managed to get up on time and stream on time, so look at me go. Question is, if I'm not doing a morning stream tomorrow, can I manage to wake up anyways? Okay, I'm gonna brush this piece down just for some dust, first of all. Because it definitely needs it. And these are similar chunks to the pieces I redid on the leg, but these ones don't have that extra ridge that I neglected to edge highlight, so I don't need to redo them. On this piece of black doesn't look like it needs much cleanup, which is nice. We are gonna do just a little bit though, with the medium-sized brush. Adulting sure is a drag, Michael. Sure is. Yeah, like this piece, I don't even see that. Like the pure black doesn't look like it needs to be tidied up at all, so I'm not going to. And for the projects I didn't do freehand on, like my earlier Gamma Wolf stuff, I would have glued the legs and feet to the base by now for ease of handling. But when there's like freehand detail that needs to be painted on like the inside of the legs and feet, it's be a bit too difficult to get that done if it was attached to the base. Excuse me. Yeah, not much to clean up on these feet, that's for sure. Maybe I will do the arm. I chose, or I like selected the 1 foot, leg, and arm for this stream because for these stages of the painting I haven't recorded the video B-roll yet, but you know, the model kit has 2 feet, 2 legs, and 2 arms, so do 1 set of them on the stream and the other ones in the video. So I could be just like turning on the camera interface and recording the B-roll in the stream if I wanted to. It's a bit less disruptive to just do it separately though. Alright, now it's time for the darker gray. Clayton, I mean, painting with a little alcohol in your system, sometimes it'll give you, like, it depends on the painting you're doing, you know, like, if you're painting something very expressive and abstract, the alcohol might not totally hinder you. But yeah, for like the very refined edge highlighting I'm doing right now, alcohol would probably not help me. But you know, sometime, like, by the time I'm done this second cup of coffee here, that could also be hindering my painting in a different way, you know? I guess I'll keep using this brush. Yeah, I mean, even if painting's sober, when you're doing the base layers, like, you often have to go back and clean those up anyways. But, you know, I can't in good conscience recommend getting, like, completely shit-faced in painting. That's, like, something you do for like, a weird challenge or contest. Now I'm just imagining some, like, house party with a bunch of people drinking out of red Solo cups, but then there's, like, a bunch of people painting minis at the kitchen table, doing, like, a speed painting competition or something. I bet that's happened somewhere. I wish I could have gone to a party like that in college. I didn't go to any parties, any house parties that had Warhammer. What the heck? And by Warhammer, I mean miniatures. I gotta deprogram myself from saying it that way. I mean, everyone does. Curse you, James Workshop. Yeah, this back part of the foot here is probably the messiest bit of my earlier brushwork. Got a bit of undesired texture on there, unfortunately. Yeah, I think we would all have fun at that party. Gunpla speed building competition. Take a shot every time you complete a section of the instruction book. I mean, in terms of a sober challenge, though, there's the challenge where you take like an entry grade kit and take all the pieces, or like you put the sprues in a bag and just like build it. Try and build it with your hands in the bag without looking at the parts. Or even just like a more basic version of that challenge. Just clip out all the pieces and just try and build the kit without using the instructions. Not for the faint of heart. Yeah, building in a bag. Country Fried Minis has a... It made me think of your paint in a bag channel meme. I think paint in a bag is more entertaining though than build in a bag. Super glue your hands to a 40, but you can't paint that way. Building in a bag wouldn't work if you're using a model that required glue. That would be, God, that would be hilarious to watch for maybe. Okay, time to move up to the next shade of gray. Which I think I can get away with just like mixing. Ooh, I almost got paint onto the sponge there. I feel like I should put a dollop of the paint I'm trying to mix to onto the palette just to see if I got it right. Yeah, basically did. Cool, cool, cool. I mean, with video editing magic, that could be a fun gag. Country Fried Minis, you just like put the pieces in a bag, shake it, and then suddenly it's like a fully assembled model in the bag. Just gotta wipe this paint away from the edge of the papers so the gray paint doesn't start getting sucked into the hydration pack. Alright, do I switch brushes? I don't think I need to switch brushes yet. Famous last words. Yep, that's looking like the appropriate shade there. Yeah, I gotta stop fussing too much about this part. It's like one of the least visible parts of the model. Running it backwards. That's making me think of I could do some reverse painting gimmick for a video. I know some people watch my videos and just skip to the end where they see the finished model and then don't watch the rest. So doing a reverse painting gag, that would mean those people don't need to skip to the end of the video. They just see the finished model at the beginning and they're like, alright, I guess I'll stop watching. And for these recessed parts here, I don't want to go too hard on it because they are recessed. They don't get that much of a highlight. And again, I am using the curled tip of the brush kind of as a finer point. Grabbing some darker gray that's on the palette here to tidy up the line I just did that was a little too thick. Okay, I messed that piece up a little bit. Or that section up. That line was too thick. Okay, on to the final passive edge highlight on this foot. Good on you for giving those doggies the walkies, Fangire. Alright, let's add a drop of white. I think after this foot I am going to switch to purple. I don't want to paint gray anymore. Let's add 2 drops. It's always entertaining watching it spread across the palette. Maybe I can... It's not... Oh, you can kind of see it spreading still. That looks pretty neat. I think I just saw a beard hair in the palette. Typical of a Model Mayhem project. Alright, I think... yeah, I'll give this... What size brush is this anyways? A 00? Doesn't look like one. I'll give this brush one more shot. Famous last words. Where does all this dang dust keep coming from? Probably my skin. Well, after doing this stream with this wider angle lens, I'm not sure if it was the better choice. I think having the lens, it gives a closer look and is worth the more jittery autofocus for the better look at the part. When it comes to video game movies based off something, what do you guys think is the best besides the Sonic movies? Fangire Saga asks. I mean, it's not a movie, but I think the best adaptation I've seen is Arcane. Not that I'm a League player. I mean, I've played League before, but not much. And of course, Fallout, which is also not a movie. I do have a fondness for the first Resident Evil movie. That's more for like nostalgia. Other than that, I'm struggling coming up with any other examples. If I wanted to go like maybe if this gunpla, if I wasn't painting it to like match other ones in a crew, I could go like a step beyond this edge highlighting and do like just like almost basically dots right on the corners of like almost pure white to give it like a very edge highlighted look. But I will not be doing that on this project, because it's taken long enough as it is. The Hitman movie, I never saw that one. Oh yeah, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, that's a good one. I guess I didn't think of that one immediately because it wasn't live action. And this brighter highlight, I'm not even going to bother putting on the recessed section there, because it doesn't need to stand out that much. Okay, that's the black edge highlights done on this here foot. Yeah, the Wreck-It Ralph movies definitely aren't adaptations. All right. Now, just trying to think about doing some purple or finishing the black on the arm. Let's we're gonna at least make it to 2 hours for this stream, like usual. So let's just have some relaxing purple painting for the rest of it. Before I add paint back to the palette, I'm gonna just reactivate purple that's on here, because it's a decent amount caked on here. And just like we did when finishing the black, we are going all the way back down to the base color, the purple. I believe it might be time to break out some glaze medium, actually. For thinning purposes. Just because it gives me a bit better control. Doom and Monster Hunter. Yeah, I haven't seen either of those. I mean, I know Doom has that infamous, like, first-person view part, which is kind of, looks like it would be silly fun, at least. I don't know much about the Monster Hunter movie. I heard it was pretty bad, though. So yeah, this is a random, like, very dark blue custom ship mix I've had for a while. That was, the base color is mostly beaten purple, but just darkened down a little bit with this custom mix. Alright, where's that glaze medium at? My old friend, don't use you as much when it's one of the freehand projects, but you're still great. It's been a while since I used this one, so I gotta make sure I shake it extra hard. Alright, so this is where because the freehand patterns are blocked in now. This is where it gets just like really painterly, I suppose. And I'm gonna need enough control. I'm just gonna take this off the skewer right away. So I'll focus on like just this side section of the leg for now. Also, I'm just gonna brush fucking dust off. It never ends. So when I blocked in, the freehand shape is obviously like a little messy. Same with like the edge highlighting as it usually goes. So what I'm doing first with the darkest shade here is just kind of like tidying up the edges and adjusting everything accordingly. So I'm just gonna work around the edge first. And you know, if I'm not mixing a tone that's super close to the original base coat, that's fine. Because in the end, it's all just gonna be one beautiful purple swirly mess. As I'm painting this on, it's looks like I should add just a little bit more of that dark blue. Yeah, let's just add a bit more of the dark blue. The dust is just nothing but fighting. Yeah, Doom was definitely trying to ride the wave of Resident Evil, and yeah, when I think saw like the first trailer, like announcement for the Monster Hunter film, I was like, oh, this could be good. But it was not. Yeah, that's more what I'm looking for. So yeah, I'm kind of like carving these the filigreed shapes to be a bit skinnier with this base coat. I'm kind of like painting around the edges of them to refine them, especially where they look a little too blobby. Like you can see this shape here, the like thickness of the lines is a little inconsistent. But I can carve them out to be a little sharper. Alright, well, we got this dark mixed on the palette. Might as well just keep going across the leg. Yeah, actually, the freehand I initially painted on here, it's not that messy. We'll see what the other side looks like, though. And yes, I am licking my finger to try and get some of this dust off. I'm not one of those painters that like repeatedly licks the brush. I never quite picked up that brush licking habit. I know some painters out there, if you like watch their entire paint session, at the end you can be like, wow, how much paint did they actually consume there? Not trying to throw shade, just pointing out that's like, some people do just like end up consuming a lot of paint. in a painting session. Which is, I mean, there's worse things that could happen if you're using acrylics, but I mean, don't be licking your brush if you're painting with oils, let me tell you that. Or lacquers or enamels, obviously. Yeah, here's a good example of a piece that could be tidied up a bit. Or the freehand, I should say, the part in the middle here. Iron Elemental, are you just noticing now that it's gonna be a filigreed one? Ooh, 2 hours to travel to a hobby shop? That's rough. I feel for you there. I mean, every hobby shop, it's like, if they're gonna have any player base, it's like, high chance it's just Warhammer players, because that's just how the industry be, unfortunately. And can't blame the game store managers, because they want to stay in business. They gotta sell Warhammer, probably. It's like Warhammer, Magic the Gathering, D&D. Suppose you could argue about including Pokemon cards in there. But then you get into like the zone of like, okay, well, is it a card shop or a hobby shop or both? My local game store used to be like both, but then eventually the card desk split off into its own store on like the neighboring side of the building. So it's like separate business now. And, you know, the guys running the more board game, mini game side of things, I'm sure we're glad for that. It's like a win-win. The card desk gets to flourish into its own shop. The board game, mini games, RPG game side of things has more space to spread out. Yeah, I mean, playing Games Workshop IP in video games is kind of my preferred way to experience this setting these days. What do I think of Space Marine 2? It looks pretty good. I never played Space Marine 1, but if you're looking for a Space Marine / 40K action game with like a proper story mode, it looks like one of the best offerings out there. The multiplayer mode seems pretty cool, especially if you can like customize your own Marine and all that. Yeah, because the main like modern video game I could think of with that like gets the 40K vibe right is Darktide, but Darktide is more of like a live service shooter. So if you want more of like a campaign mode with proper cutscenes and all that, or if you want the power fantasy of like playing a Space Marine, because in Darktide you're either a zealot, a just guardsman, an ogryn, or a psyker. You can't be like a big beefed up Space Marine. I'm sure at some point I'll watch a YouTube compilation of the Space Marine cutscenes. Because when the cinematic trailer first came out, it was cool seeing some high quality Tyranid animations. It's like there's a lot of good like Space Marine 3D animation out there at this point. Not as much Tyranid stuff. Oh yeah, bolt gun looks pretty entertaining to play. Yeah, and I heard Rogue Trader is good too if you're more of a RPG tactical game kind of person. Okay. Well, there's still enough of this dark shade on the palette. We're gonna switch to the foot. Get that stage done on the foot. Gonna have a drink of water first. Oh, we broke the 2-hour mark. Yeah, this stage it really looks like I'm just like flattening things. And I kind of am, but after this stage, we will be doing the opposite of that. Making the filigree look like it is some really fancy embossed detail on there. Plus the edge highlighting, of course. I am not entirely sure how. I was thinking I might, like, I'll use a different color to edge highlight the edges than I will in highlighting the filigree, because I've kind of been using a custom like rose pink mix and then also just Vallejo model color pink in the highlight mixes. But I haven't entirely decided how I'm going to go about that yet. That might be a decision I come to when I'm painting off stream today. Yeah, I like Vallejo for the, like, the paints are not quite as good as Games Workshop or Pro Acryl, but they're still like definitely close enough and like a better deal price wise. And I mean, I don't like to support Games Workshop. I'd rather support Vallejo. And Vallejo is like pretty consistently available at a lot of different shops. It's also like more product offerings with Vallejo. And you know, I've definitely said before, I do not like the Games Workshop paint pot. I don't know many people who do. And this song playing right now makes this painting feel all the more regal. Ultra Acryl. Ultra Acryl. Is that a spin-off of Pro Acryl or something? Ah yes, how could I forget the real underrated painting technique, painting in a bag. That's not really my expertise, that's more for the Country Fried Minis channel. Check them out. You can even see a guest appearance from Iron Elemental. I hear there's some fancy new paint in a bag techniques brewing for the next video. Looking forward to it. Alright, there's enough of this dark shade of purple on the palette still. I'm gonna just use it up on the arm, and then I'll wrap up the stream, and we'll be at about the usual ending time. Oh, it's some Euro dudes who did a Kickstarter, so it's... It's Chad's fault. Red and black sounds like some nice sinister colors for a monster. Could really pop with some neon green in there or something. I mean, red and black is a good color combo because it, like, when you add a third color into the mix, there are a lot of good choices. Like gold, purple, white, blue, green. I'm guessing your Hive Tyrant, or you're painting... The Hive Tyrant isn't part of, like, an army that has, like, a unified color scheme that everything is the same in. Gotta do the dust pass. Nice Fangire Saga. That's like, I can... The joy of playing multiple war games and multiple armies is... You know, I got my Spires army, where that one, it's like everything gets the same color scheme, and it's very homogeneous. Then I get my 100 Kingdoms, where it's like, things are kind of similar, but there is like room for a decent amount of color variation. And then I got my Gamma Wolves team, where it's like, the bases are the same between all of them, and like the black tones I use, but then the main armor colors vary wildly, and it's just a bunch of vibrant mechs. So I can just scratch all the itches and never be finished any of the projects, because I'm always, you know, getting bored with one and switching to another. It's very wargamer brained of me. Or I should say miniature painter brained. Technically model painter, because I don't know, is a gunpla technically a miniature? Like a miniature is also a model. I think technically gunpla is also a miniature, because it's like a miniature version of a Gundam. But I don't know, we're getting pretty pedantic here. Yeah, I'm almost kind of just like glazing over top of everything with this step. And it's like making the freehand blocking a little harder to read, but you know, there'll be another stage of highlighting after this to like properly refine and crisp up those shapes. Okay. Well, I'm gonna start wrapping up the stream now. I'll stay live as I plan when the next stream is gonna be. Quick, so you all know. It'll definitely be tomorrow evening. Let's see here. What time does the YouTube studio say is optimal to stream in the evening on a Wednesday? Yeah, it's pretty spread out. I'll tentatively say 7. Excuse me. Just add a reminder for that so I don't forget. All right. So I will make the call now. I'm only gonna do one more stream with this project, and that'll be tomorrow evening. And the rest will be done off camera. There'll be a video for this project eventually. I'm on the job search right now, so I don't really have a... I have no idea of when that video will actually come out, but I appreciate everyone's support as always. Show up with an old-fashioned, nice. I mean, the main perk of the evening streams is I'm usually drinking a Conk Zero, so that's when we get the mega burps going. That's where the record of 9 came from. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow I'll break the record and reach the double digits. Okay, well, thanks again for coming, everybody. Appreciate your support, and I will see you next time, whenever that may be. Probably tomorrow night.